Hey, it's Andy here. Welcome to the workshop. In this step, what I'm going to talk about is how to set up the cutting part of this job. I've selected these two parts and I have them in the material here, so you can see where they're going to end up on the wood itself. I'm going to go to the cut, and the first part you're going to see is how deep you're going to cut. So by changing this slider, you can change how deep the part is going to be cut out. In this case, I want the part to be cut all the way through, so I'm going to choose the depth at 0.5 inches. Obviously, if you want to cut part of the way through, you want to make a dish or a relief or something like that, you can adjust the depth in this case. The next thing is the cut path. So you'll see a couple different options. You can cut clear out of pocket. So if you want to do like a bowl, for example, you would just cut out the inside part and you want to clear all the material out. If you want to cut on the shape of the path, it would just follow the line that the DXF is following. We don't want to do this because we need the parts to fit together, so they need to be accurate to the dimensions that we originally started off with. If we do cut on shape of path, if you use a bigger bit or a smaller bit, it'll adjust the size of the part when you finally cut it out. When you do cut inside of the shape of the path, it'll cut in the inside of the lines itself, and so same problem. But what we want is to cut on the outside shape of the path. So I'm going to cut on the outside shape of the path. So now when it follows the line, it'll follow the outside of these lines. I'll just quickly talk about what the used tabs are. I'm not going to use them, and I'll explain why also. But it's good to know what the tabs are, because in certain projects, or if you're not confident in how the parts are going to come out, you can use tabs here. The reason we use tabs is to keep the material from coming out after it gets cut. So it's sort of like those assembly toy things where you have that sheet and you have to pick out the parts and break them out. It's almost like the same thing. The reason I'm not going to use tabs here is, one, I'm pretty sure that the weight of the material is heavy enough to keep it from shifting around as it cuts. And second of all, because I'm using a down cut bit, some of the chips are going to stay in the cut to keep it secure. If I were to do a part where they're really, really small, that are more prone to flying out. Generally speaking, if they're really small parts or they can't shift around, then I would use tabs. The downside of using tabs though is that you still need to clean them up and sand where the tabs were, and I'm lazy, so we're just gonna skip them.